truck has everything. And for all of you that don't know, this is the back wall bed. It holds down. Guys, you just saw one of the biggest and prettiest rigs in Shipshewana right now that pulled out the doors, and this is the beautiful couple that is actually the owners of this truck. Chris and Ruth Smith, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic.
It has been an absolute honor to come down, and Toby told me about this beautiful rig that they had coming out, and I am totally floored on everything that even from inside out, this truck is absolutely stunning. Tell me a little bit about how this came to be.
Well, we bought our first truck 3.5 years ago from ARI. We were living in England still, in the UK, and we heard about ARI from over there. And so we flew over, tour of the plant, and we decided this is where we wanted to have our truck built. And so our first one was a Legacy 2, and that we learnt on, and it was the biggest thing I've ever driven.
Okay.
Because I drove obviously small American trucks and even smaller European trucks.
So I looked at the fact that you came down to ARI and told me what was the most unique thing about putting this unit together.
I think just for Chris and Ruth, coming from the UK, just the understanding of the colors that they wanted. I like the idea that they did the separate sink, 2 sinks, and then they love to play golf, and we built that building, headache rack on the back. It's a lot for storage for the golf items, which saves storage inside of here, so they could really utilize everything in the 180 inches inside for the living area.
Okay, so now 180 of living area.
Correct.
So what brought that about, Chris? Tell me a little bit about how that actually came to be.
I wanted a big truck. My original truck, I changed floor plans, changed trucks. And my dream truck was the truck I grew up on, the truck I learned on, the truck I took my test on, and I was 389, a big hood, Peterbilt.
Okay.
Peterbilt would only go so big with a frame. We couldn't go any longer. So it did save me getting ridiculously long. So we are right now Peterbilt's longest manufactured truck, which is 380-inch wheelbase.
380.
380. They will not go any longer than that.
So with this 380, so what kind of powertrain do you have in it?
I've got a 605 Cummins, the X15.
Okay.
With 2050 torque, and we've got an 18-speed manual Eaton gearbox.
And I know a lot of the guys are going with the automatic transmissions. That's one of the beautiful things about this one. You have a manual trans. Is that your preference as far over the automatic?
Yes, but the last gearbox was an automatic, and we decided to go back to a manual on this one.
Okay.
It's a little bit more of a learning curve for my wife because she hasn't driven a manual for
A number of years.
A number of years.
A number of years, to say.
I love the accent, and guys, if you haven't noticed, they are from London. So Chris's accent is not as pronounced as Ruth, but Ruth, we got to get you on here saying something.
Yes,
so.
you do. Yes, you do. I suppose.
So Ruth, how long have you been driving?
Oh gosh, I started driving in 98.
In 98?
98, and we came over from England in early 98. I went to truck driving school in California, which was where we lived at the time, and went out on the road with Chris. He became my trainer.
Okay.
and we're still married.
And we're still married. And yeah, so that's when I started, and straight into a Peak with a 13-speed manual.
Ah.
So I kind of, got into it on the right side. Now I grew up driving a stick shift car, anyhow, so it wasn't.
Okay. It wasn't
the
anything
biggest
new.
leap,
Okay.
but it was certainly different. So, going back to the manual, I don't have any great worries about it. I think he's more worried than I am.
Now, Chris, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit.
Yes,
I know there's a story behind this truck, so I want you to tell me just a tad bit about the truck itself. How
Okay.
did it come to be?
Everything on this truck has something to do with my family and growing up. So I get a little bit choked up. The truck is named Beverly. This is Beverly 2. She's named after my sister, who passed away in 2002.
It's a tribute to her.
It's a tribute to her. But there's other things like there's 7 lights on the top of my sleeper, and that represents my dad's number that he wore on his football jersey. You call it soccer. When he played in England when he was growing up.
Okay.
And the yellow of the truck represents the house my sister, what we all grew up in San Jose, California. So it's got really great memories back then, and there's still a lot of memories and a lot of things we need to add to the truck to have to do with my mother and obviously Ruth's mom and dad as well.
Can you outdo this one?
I wouldn't want to try and out. This is what I term as our retirement truck. We will retire with this truck eventually. I'm not saying that's going to be in a couple of years. Who knows how long it'll be? But this is the last truck we wanted to put together, and that's why it is what Chris wanted to have. It's his dream truck. And
Famous last words, though. Everyone says when we say, "Yeah, this is going to be our last truck," we look after our equipment very much, anyways.
Okay.
So this truck will last us more than 5 years. But everyone always says, yeah, that's what they all say.
I know a lot of guys are going to wonder, okay, he's got this big truck. What does he haul with this big truck?
Obviously, we're a heavy truck, but we do have a very light trailer. We hold a step deck, and we work for Southern Pride Trucking out of San Diego, California, in the aviation business. And we haul airplane, jet engines, whether it be commercial or military. And we take jet engines just all over the country.
So you actually, what size trailer do you haul with? What size is your step deck?
I have a 48-foot East, all aluminum step deck.
Oh, okay. Now, a lot of the guys are going to be like, oh man, you can't haul anything but air with this big truck. And come on, guys, what do you?
We
the
carry
truck
a
is
lot
big.
of rocket fuel.
A lot of rocket fuel.
This kind of job, it's not about weight. We get paid more hauling one jet engine, which might weigh 4,000 pounds, than someone hauling 44,000 pounds of, whether it be groceries or produce or anything like that. It's specialized transport. We spend more time on the road. We actually love being on the road. We live in Arizona. Living as we did in Arizona, you don't want to go home during the summer. It's too hot. So we like our life on the road. We spend 8 to 9 months on the road, but then we take 3 months off during the winter time. Southern Pride, they're a great company to work for. And yes, a lot of people that work there have a lot of the big bunks because we do work on the road a lot more. But it also, to me, it represents the company as, look at that truck.
Exactly.
I want them to haul my equipment.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
And on that note, I want to go back. Toby, now I know a lot of the guys will say, okay, Quinn, yeah, you showed us this big fancy sleeper, but where do you sleep? Would you please explain that for the general public?
Actually, right here, there's a little lever on the beds for these dinettes. You'll remove these wedge cushions and pillows, and then you flip this lever, and this bed will fold down and come all the way out here to the cab.
So you hear that, guys? They're sitting in the bed area.
Yes.
This is a dinette area during the day and a sleeping area during the night.
And this is the bigger bed. This is a 54-inch bed. So as you can see, Ruth and Chris are sitting on one side. There's plenty of room for 2 people on each side. Gives a lot more room for the bed.
Well,
bigger bed.
he says there's plenty of room, but basically you got my wife's part here, and then you got the dog's bed here, And then I get this little edge bit here.
I forgot about the dog.
Now, Chris, we looked in the cockpit here, and I see these two gorgeous seats. These are not your average big rig seats that's sitting up here. Explain those to me, please.
Right. Well, our life is spent sitting in a driver's seat. Neither one of us really sit in the passenger. You know, I'm back here playing video games or whatever. So we spend a lot of time. I want something comfortable to sit in.
Right.
So we went with superior seats, and they were custom made to our color scheme. Now, the passenger side is basically just a normal seat. However, the driver's seat is a little bit more than normal. It's heated, it's also cooled, and it also has a massage. Sort of the top bit that that massages your shoulders, the middle bit that does your back, and the lower bit that does your lower back.
Okay.
So it's yes, very comfortable.
On that note, guys, I want to say thank you for giving us an opportunity to visit you, to come down. Once again, Toby, thank you for the invite.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for giving us the opportunity to spend and admire and drool all over your truck here. And everybody, this has been an absolutely stunning rig. We're going to do a little bit more walking around, but as of this moment, I want to thank the Smiths and Toby for actually giving us the opportunity. Guys, thank you so very, very
No,
much.
thank you for coming out, and we're very humbled that you wanted to come and see my truck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.